So late night video for you guys. I'm recording this around midnight, but I'm just going to record it and upload it. Crazy day today. But Mike McDaniel met with the media at the Combine. Let's get into it. What is up, Fin fans? Now, we're going to talk about what Mike McDaniel had to say at the Combine today. My thoughts on what he had to say. Now, I normally would play the audio or play the video on one of the sides of me, but I started to listen to the beginning of it, and you cannot hear what the question is, and that drives me nuts. So I just went to the transcripts. I'm not going to go over every little thing and read you all the answers or all the things that he said. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, if I can get through it quickly. But we're going to see what he had to say, and then tomorrow, you're still going to get a video talking about Chris Grier, an article written by Omar Kelly. So you're getting a late one tonight, and then tomorrow, probably around like noon, 1-ish, I'm probably going to release another video for you guys. So he jumps in, and somebody asks him on the importance of getting the ball out quick. He responds yes before he's sacked. Really, some of the best players in the NFL are collected as pass rushers on the defensive front. That's some of the most strained matchups you have regardless of the team you're playing against. Being able to play to that and not have the quarterback have the ball that long before he throws it, minimizing the chance of those negative plays. However, there's a lot of variables that go into plays where guys may not be able to get open in those times. That's a lot of times. That's what I'm saying, not him. So it's not a mandate you want the ball out at a certain time. It's more that you're trying to play to the strength of your team. When things open up and when both the offensive players and the scheme allow for a player to be open early in the timing of the play, you take advantage of that because it's more difficult for the defense to have a negative play on your line of scrimmage or behind. From what I'm getting from that is it seems like it was like a predetermined play type situation. Now, he did say being able to play to that and not have the quarterback have the ball that long before he throws it is minimizing the chance of those negative plays. However, there's a lot of variables that go into play where guys may not be able to get open in time. 100%. But he's also talking about, so it's not a mandate you want the ball at a certain time. It's more you're trying to play to the strength of your team. And at some point in the season, the strength of our team was not our offensive line. So it seemed like it was a lot of, okay, we need to get the ball out quick. Once that timer goes off in your head, get the ball out quick. Boom, boom, boom. And to me, and I'm going to talk about things that Tua needs to work on because, like I said, there's a bunch of articles where people have talked about it. But to me, like one of the things McDaniel needs to work on is, first off, we need to fix the offensive line so Tua does have enough time to drop back and kind of go through his reads and not feel like I need to get the ball out because the play is this, quick passes. But got to stop forcing plays. And that's not just from Tua, that's also from Mike McDaniel. You got to stop trying to force plays to certain players. And at first I thought it was interesting. I thought it was cool. Like when he was like, oh, let's see a one-play touchdown here from Jalen Waddle. And against the Jets, and boom, one-play touchdown. We're like, what? And then Tyreek, gets back in there. Let's get Tyreek the ball. Get Tyreek the ball here. Like if he's not open, don't force the ball to him. He was open. But like those instances where he would say those things, I'd be like, wow, that's pretty interesting. But now I sit back, I'm like, seems like they're kind of trying to force things to certain players at certain times. So I'm hoping the play book and the offense evolves a little bit, especially if we have a better offensive line. Talks with Tua and a contract extension, he says, absolutely. I think one of the cool things in this organization is how communication and how well I work with Chris Grier, as well as how I can separate what my job is and what his job is and how we move forward. I'm very encouraged. Both Tua's representatives and our organizations are hard at work. Those timelines are impossible to predict, and my main concern this offseason has been communicating what Tua needs from his head coach and his offensive coaching staff. which is what things can we identify to continue the progression of your game the same way that we have since day one. My belief has always been strong from day one in Tua. It's stronger than it was the first day I met him, and that's because of that relationship, which I'm focused, which is continuing to provide the coaching so he can continue to evolve. I mean, he said a lot for just saying there. He could have very easily just been like, they're working on it. We're having an open line of communication and we're trying to come to an agreement and yada, yada. But he kept going about how there's, which I understand. He's trying to make him better and stuff. But from what my understanding is, and again, from what I'm hearing with my ear to the ground, they're trying to get it done before the start of free agency. So before the 11th ish, they're trying to get it done, because they could use that cap space. Will it get done by then? I don't know. But they're trying to get it done by then, from what I'm hearing. On how the offense may evolve heading into 2024. And this is, I haven't seen any of this, but this is a big thing that he needs to work on. And adding certain players can help with that. He says, it's an interesting question that I regard, but I look at every offseason, every year's offense as a constant evolution to your players and to what defenses are doing. I'm never going to copy and paste, be like, this is what we did in 2023, and let's work off that. And the funny thing, he says that because I remember last offseason, so many people were saying, we're going to lose all these games because the opposing defenses in the NFL know how to stop this offense, and oh my goodness. And I'm like, do you think that they don't change the offense and add different parts to it? Like, do you think when all these players leave to go to other teams that they're going to just keep? It was such an asinine thing I've heard. And then we start out going 3-0 and just destroy people on offense. And all of a sudden all that went away. I just find that so funny that people legitimately thought our offense was figured out and we were screwed. They don't change it. You're ultimately trying to create some uncertainty and indecision with offensive scheme. Inherent in that is your constant evolution. I'm not really gloating on any success of the past. You're more what we're going to do to the set of players. We're going to have some guys that are going to go into year 3, some guys in year 2, and some new guys. But ultimately, what's the best thing to serve them? So essentially what he's saying is he evolves his offense to who he has on the team, which that's kind of what good coordinators and head coaches do. They don't try to force a round peg into a square hole. You're not trying to that's what happened with Charles Harris when we drafted him. He was a good player coming out of college, but they forced him to be a defensive end when he was a 3-4 outside linebacker. You can't do that. You can't take players that are on your roster and try to force them into a situation that they're not. It's like trying to take Tua and make him a running quarterback. He's not a running quarterback. So to try to take him and all of a sudden have him be that type of quarterback, it just wouldn't work because that's just not the type of quarterback he is. So hopefully he evolves, but hopefully he evolves as a head coach where he makes better decisions into some circumstances, 3rd and shorts, getting the play in quicker so there can be adjusting onto his part, a lot of things. They asked him about the defense coordinator change. He said, in regard to the defense coordinator transition this offseason, I'd be lying if I said I was expecting that during the season at all. I think Vic would feel similarly. Mike, come on. Come on, Mike. He had his foot out the door the whole season. What happened was basically, I think it's important when the season ends for you to remove emotions and evaluate and have a very, very good conversation with all the people that you're depending on. With Vic and I, we had extensive conversations that were very healthy. Ultimately, when push came to shove, it seemed like we both had the opportunity, and it was best for both parties involved to literally mutually part. So it wasn't anticipated. It was something that I think was a factor of great communication between him and I. This is a very PC diplomatic answer. My man, Mike, I get it. You can't say the real thing, but that man was asked, my brain is just shutting off. That man was asked during training camp if, because of what happened with the tampering kind of, hindered him from joining the Eagles. He didn't say no. Come on. On if their team plans to add any running backs. I'm gonna scrutinize the crap out of what he's about to say here, because you can't tell me they didn't try and aren't going to continue to try to add some type of running backs. I'm going to give you the timetable again. I'm probably going to talk about this again at nauseum. We try to get Dalvin Cook. That doesn't work out. We bring back Raheem Mostert and we bring back Jeff Wilson. Then we try to get Dalvin Cook again. It doesn't work out. We go into the draft. We draft Devon Achane. Cool, we have him. We also try to trade for DeAndre Swift. That doesn't happen. He goes to Philly. Then after the draft, we try to get Dalvin Cook again. That starts to fall apart. Then we contact the Raiders about Jacobs, nothing there. Contact the Giants about Saquon Barkley, nothing there. One more try at Dalvin Cook, nothing there. We stick with what we have. If you're going to look at me dead in the face and tell me they didn't try to add a quarterback all offseason, you lying to me and yourself. There's never the sense of complacency with any phase. Ooh, he's already putting those breadcrumbs out there. I think we can, I think we did make some substantial improvements in the run game, which was something that a year ago at this press conference, I was probably taking about that we need to do, and that doesn't stop. I think running the ball is a way to dictate the terms more than anything in football. Then stick with it, my man. Stick with it. One team has the ball, the other team doesn't. It's the orchestration of offense that's the least risky in terms of turning the ball over. That's something we'll continue to try to evolve. Our minds are always open. We're always creating competition and always trying to find new ways to find new ways to have different success and evolve on the front end and not the back end of things. They're going to try to add a running back. That's what I got from it. Talking about evolving, talking about there's always something to it, talking about all this stuff. Add Derrick Henry. I'm going to make a video about the players we need to add. Add Derrick Henry. It will add an aspect to this run game that has been missing, that has made you go into your cranium and think, I need to throw bubble screens or I need to throw fades on short distances instead of having Derrick Henry in the backfield and just running the ball. You take Derrick Henry and you match him up with Devon Achane, that is a 1-2 punch that is crazy good. And maybe Raheem Mostert's still on the team. I don't know. Add Derrick Henry. A most important part of Tua Tagovailoa's development last year, reps. He has more reps than he's ever had in his career because he played a full season. That is correct. That was something that in football, there's a lot of things that can happen. There are a lot of things you can control. I think one of the best examples of taking control of your career is what Tua was able to do through training camp and being able to experience all the different things. I mean, experience a playoff game for the first time in his career in like negative degree weather. That was afforded to him because he was able to lead the team in a week in and week out. These are things that weren't necessarily assumed he was capable of doing, but like the most things Tua has done in his career, he's recognized that and proved doubters wrong. He needs to continue it, man. I've talked about this at nauseum, and I talked about it on the AFC's roundtable earlier today or yesterday, because you're going to see this video at like 1 o'clock. He is so, in my mind, he's close to being someone that can take us where we need to go. He's just missing that final piece, and I don't know if he'll ever get there. I'm not saying he won't. I'm not saying he will. I don't know. And it's that hump of end of the year, fourth quarter, we need you to do what you've been doing moments. Like, that's my biggest step. Terron Armstead has informed the team if he plans to play next year. I have let time allow for what's important decision for him. I let time for the season evolve so that he can give us a window into what he's thinking. It's important. There's a roller coaster of emotions when you're talking about potentially. See, right now he's determining something that him and his body. So then where's the article that came out that I reported on saying he's coming back? However, we have to allow for time and assess all the options Miami Dolphins have plans regardless of the scenario, which is what we get paid to do. There's nothing that has earned more liberty. I'm excited to hear some conclusion he's drawn in the near future. So what's up with the whole thing about him coming back? Is that all hogwash? I showed you the article. I think I still have it saved somewhere. Why he retained special teams coordinator Danny Crossman? It's a good question. I think so many of the decisions that I have made are very layered, although results are very, very important. I think Coach Crossman would agree with the statement that the results aren't where we want them to be. However, so much of my job is determining the compounding variables and why two things. Ultimately, I think the bottom line is picturing us moving forward and how to get the phase of football to. I'm trying to you can see this is why I like doing this better, because you try to, sort through the crap to find what he's actually trying to say. Something easy you have to assess. That's why essentially he's saying he's going to get better on the qualities special team coordinator has that makes him confident moving forward. So you have a window into the truth, depth of someone's coaching ability when you're working alongside. Essentially, he probably thinks he's better than what's being put on. And he's seen him at his, I don't know, man. He should have moved on from him. Special teams was hot garbage. Sanders came out. He did really well, especially against the Cowboys. But outside of that, we had kick returns on us. Our punter was kicking the ball. Like, maybe he thinks, oh, our punter sucks, so we're going to get a new punter, and then Danny Crossman will be able to. But, like, the kick return against the Ravens, where, like, your guy just didn't even try to make a tackle. Again, our punter was kicking to their 45. It's still like, I have no choice in the matter. Plain simple. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, he says, if he's expecting Christian Wilkins to be back. Yeah, I hope so. Don't you? We'll see. But I'm excited for Christian's opportunity that he's earned. It's never good to hear that. Yeah, we love good players, and we'd love to have him back. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of us would, but that whole situation, that's something that the Miami Dolphins and Christian Wilkins team and agent and him have been working on for 2 years now. It wasn't just last offseason that the Dolphins were trying to get him under contract. It was the year before that as well. The Dolphins were offering him, from what I heard, like around $15-16 million a year. He was saying no to that. He wants more in the 20s. The Dolphins were like, your production doesn't qualify the 20s. I talked about this last offseason. And now he goes out and puts up 9 sacks, and now he's like, my production, he bet on himself and he won. But again, can he do it again? Do you feel comfortable enough giving him that $20+ million a year, and then he doesn't do it again? And it was a 1-year wonder. I don't know, but a lot of what I got, again, sometimes when you listen to Mike McDaniel, it's kind of like listening to Donald Trump. And again, it's not a knock on Donald Trump. Don't get all in your feelings. But a lot of times when you listen to Trump, he's like on the subject and he kind of veers off and starts talking about something else. And then he kind of comes back and then he veers back off. That's what Mike McDaniel does. He's like all over the place when you're trying to listen to him talk. But from what I got, I'm just going to go to the topics. Importance of getting the ball out quick, he says it dictates. A lot of things dictate in it. And I think the fact that our offensive line was pretty banged up and, we're on a 12th rotation. His thought process was we need to utilize the bubble screens. We got fast guys and get the ball out quick so Tua doesn't get destroyed. On to extension talks, trying to get it done. Offense evolving, duh. Adding a running back, yes, we're continuing to add and get better and yada, yada. He said a lot of PC things. Nothing he said really popped out at me as like, ooh, I can't believe he said that. It's more like I do expect them to add a running back. I think they'll move on from like Jeff Wilson and stuff like that. The offense is going to evolve, a lot of things. But we need to see more out of him, and we need to see more out of the offense because you were red hot in the first half, and in the second half you fell apart when we needed you the most. Plain simple. But that's what I got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed this late night video. Like I said, either tomorrow, it depends, because I do want to do this reaction to Omar Kelly's video, and then there's a lot of stuff I want to get on, but also Thursday, I think starts, Thursday, tomorrow is defensive line and linebackers. So maybe you'll get 2 videos tomorrow. I don't know, but I'll see you tomorrow. Like usual, stay classy. Thumbs up.